I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, Dan, I need a break from Trump Epstein. I need a break from Trump Obama. I need a bizarre breaking story that involves the president of France and a very well-known MAGA influencer and conspiracy enthusiast. A story that is as weird as it is sensational. Well, you're in luck because I have that very story for you coming up next. The principals of this story are the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, his wife Brigette, and Candace Owens, a commentator on the fringe right. Let's begin with the latter's odd attack on the French First Lady that got her in hot water, and then I'll share the first couple's unprecedented move against her today.
So, regarding Brigitte Macron, who has now changed her face, as we learned, we know that she's seeing this doctor, she's getting feminization surgery. This is a good way. And plus, she's now in her 80s, right? And we've got only pictures from her childhood, only pictures of Jean-Michel Trogneau from his childhood. When you compare this with the tech returns this way. It tells us that this is a high probability, and this is with dentured teeth, different teeth, right? It is telling us that this is this boy in this school photo, okay? This is this boy in this school photo. It is returning from normal to high, highest being there at 17.3%. And that's just with the school photo and with years of work. Okay, we're not even comparing this to the school photos when she still had the teeth that you see there on the left-hand side, right? When Brigitte still had teeth. This is with a ton of work being done by the magician to the transgendered community, right? The guy that can make you a woman. He looks at you, looks at women like they're clay. And it is still certain that that is Brigitte Macron, okay? That little boy became Brigitte Macron. It is also certain that the woman in the wedding photo, so more aged on, Brigitte Trogneau, who married Andre Louis, is not the First Lady Brigitte Macron that we see today. It is returning low probability that these are the same people. What's going on here? What do you mean it's returning low probability? This maybe gives us the answer to why she will not answer. She will not join a lawsuit and assert formally by just saying, that is me in the photo, okay? She will not answer my questions as we've had our legal team go out and we have said, we don't want to lie. Just like Xavier, we're not here in the business to spread lies, okay? Doesn't help me. Doesn't make my audience want to come back to my show when I get busted intentionally lying and defaming someone for the sheer sport of it. Help me help you, Brigitte. Is this you in the wedding photo? She doesn't want to answer that question, okay? Well, if we turn to AI technology, the reason why she's not answering that question is because it's not her in the photo, okay? That is somebody else. And that somebody else went by the name Brigitte Trogneau. So it's very interesting. Jean-Michel Trogneau at that wedding. We're not allowed to see any photos of him at that wedding because apparently all photos have been destroyed.
In summary, she was arguing that Brigitte Macron was once a man based on a percentage from a random AI app and photos that she's saying she hasn't seen. Well, as a content creator with a certain kind of audience, she has to come up with something sensational to talk about every day, and she probably thought that a president of a foreign country would never come after her. Think again, Candace.
French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife, First Lady Brigitte Macron, have taken a bold legal step by filing a defamation lawsuit in the United States against conservative political influencer Candace Owens. The case, filed in Delaware Superior Court, alleges that Owens has been spreading false claims that Brigitte Macron was born male, a narrative the Macrons say has subjected them to public humiliation, online bullying, and global misinformation. The complaint describes the situation as a targeted smear campaign, accusing Owens of using these fabrications to draw attention to her podcast and expand her digital audience. The Macrons argue that this has gone beyond typical political commentary and has become deeply invasive and damaging to their personal lives. The lawsuit seeks both compensatory and punitive damages, although no specific amount has been disclosed. It is one of the rare moments in modern history where a sitting world leader has filed such a lawsuit in a foreign jurisdiction. Under U.S. defamation law, public figures like the Macrons face a high legal bar. They must prove actual malice, meaning that Owens knowingly made false claims or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. The case now adds to a growing list of legal battles involving high-profile figures and online misinformation, raising questions about the balance between free speech, defamation, and accountability in the digital era.
There's that word again, accountability. I think this is the third story of mine in the past week where it's been the theme of my summary. I usually use it when talking about Donald Trump and the measures that his victims, the Democrats, and the courts have used to strike back against him. But the recklessness by the so-called influencers like Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and Charlie Kirk also calls for days of reckoning. What Owens did was take a baseless rumor, one that's been circulating the cesspool corners of the internet for years, and amplify it via her massive platform. She revived and promoted a smear campaign for the sole purpose of feeding red meat to her audience. It wasn't the first time, but I think this is the first time that a foreign president is going to use his might to hold one of the masters of media mayhem accountable. Candace Owens thought she could chase clicks by slandering a world leader's wife and moving on to the next outrage cycle, not unlike Donald Trump does. After all, these rage baiters take their cues from our president. But the Macrons and France are fighting back this time, and it just may be a signal to others to take extreme measures and push back against the extremists profiting from lies and misinformation. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching. Please leave your thoughts below with a comment, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.
I hate Occupy Democrats.